All right, everybody, welcome back. Today is the 30th of July, 2021. Final trading day for this month of July. Ended up just under $100 in profit, which is nothing to shake a stick at, but pretty tumultuous roller coaster to get to that point. I think I'll do a monthly recap here over the weekend to go over all of that better in the emotional side and everything else behind the scenes on this month. But as for today, just frustrating morning, and I was completely shut down, laptop closed by 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I did not look at a chart for the rest of the day until close. So we'll just start with SPY, of course, just another indecision, nothing happening today in the real market. As for dollar volume across the board, NASDAQ had a total dollar volume of 195 billion. NYSE 231 total dollar volume, 231 billion total dollar volume, and the OTC is a little bit of a down day today, slower day, 2 billion total dollar volume, which is a little bit of a drop-off of what we've seen this from the start of the week. But so for the trades today, 2 trades all on TAOP. So I mentioned it in the daily recap on Wednesday. This beautiful, beautiful morning dump opportunity. This is exactly what I'm looking for. 8 a.m. press release or 8:30, whatever press release you want. The news on that day was they have a letter of intent to acquire 51% of another company. So, okay, decent news, but it's whatever. These companies know how to play the game. This is, again, also a Chinese software company, kind of in the crypto sector as well. Fundamentals, 5.8 million float, reported short interest of 3%. So as I woke up in the morning, checked all the scanners, checked all the big movers, really nothing else going on, but I was ready to go at the 8 a.m. time frame looking for a news pump like this, and sure shooting, TAOP was one of the only ones that I saw pop up. Completely remembered the ticker, remembered like, oh, this one was a great one, and then I remembered that I didn't trade it, that I missed it. You can see that in the Wednesday recap of why it didn't show up on my scanner, but that's beside the point. So anyway, saw this one pop up. The news today was TAOP signed strategic cooperation agreement with some other Chinese company, looks like Chinese tech company. So again, like, okay, decent news, but not like world changing. So here we are again at this point. Press release comes out, we start spiking, and really, if we're looking at it from this time frame, as I was seeing it, there was just no volume whatsoever. This thing was trading like less than 1,000 still at this point, 1,000 trades. The dollar volume wasn't great. My first thought initially as seeing this was, okay, just don't even touch it. It wasn't even a big enough percentage of a move from where it closed yesterday. This was really only a 25% move from that close yesterday. So it's like, does it really have the legs to try and dump hard again back to maybe where it was trading around this day, or I really need to be looking for even lower? I want the A plus setups, and I totally violated my rule number 6, which is only take the trade if there's substance to the trade. But for some reason, I just completely disavowed that and got a super chasey entry as this kind of trend was confirming. It was just dumping hard under VWAP. Got a 351 fill on 300 shares. And it was looking okay. I mean, we're going a little bit lower, breaking 3.5 on the bid, and then just quickly rebounded and then rejected off of VWAP a little bit more, pushing more lows. So I was still comfortable in a sense that the trade would end up working out. I was not convinced whatsoever that I was going to get 10% from 351, especially at most. I even had an order in at 3.3, just because back again, like I knew there really wasn't that much substance to this trade, and I was just looking for a quick move because kind of bored, and I didn't want to just be sitting on my hands again, waiting for nothing to happen until market open. So a little bit of an amateur mistake at that point, but it wasn't like I was throwing crazy position size at it. I was, $1,000 of what I thought would have been a profitable trade, coming especially from how it was manipulated and just dumped on this Wednesday too. How beautiful of a pattern that was that day. And then we got just into more of this pre-market trading. The spread was so wide, the trades were few and far between. We would get above VWAP and then just quickly reject, get above VWAP, reject, get above VWAP. Big reject and then big buyback up again. just inconsistent, choppy, stupid. Then we had this little trend back above VWAP that was showing a little bit of strength, not insane volume. So I just took it all in as just choppiness and not to try and get freaked out at anything. But eventually it did start spiking pretty hard, and I was astonished, to say the least, of how quickly it was moving on not that crazy of volume. Even still at this point, I mean, we're still like, if I remember correctly, barely above $1 million total dollar volume. It wasn't insane at all. And it wasn't like this thing, I especially wouldn't have taken the trade if I would have thought that it would have crazily spiked this hard. But again, I think this is another sign too that you can't take these little floats for granted. And it doesn't take a lot. That just proves it doesn't take a lot of volume to shove these things to new high days. So stupid me had to take a cut, of course, with a big amount of slippage at like 405 from that high day. Then I almost treated this. I was able to quickly refresh my mind and just look at this as we were going like very parabolic at this point, to look at it as a reverse dip buy. Just kind of judge the level 2 time and sales to see, okay, when is the selling going to start taking place? And then another day trade left, so screw it. Why not try to play the downside on this one? Waited a little bit and kind of recognized the turn here as it was happening, but waited a little bit just to be sure, just to give myself a little bit of room to say, okay, the downside is now in. Got like 402 as it was just cracking 402, and then heavily watching 4. If it wasn't going to break 4, then I was definitely out, especially when it was playing with that on this candle as well too. But we did crack that. Next candle broke that and a little bit further down, but then quickly rebounded. Came back above my entry and then came back above that former high day once again and just had to be stopped out. Oh my gosh. And that's, yeah, when I closed the laptop, just shut it down for the day. So that first trade, $162 loss on the raw P&L. And this second trade, same amount of shares, but $54 loss. And again, here I am looking at a loser chart, a loser for me chart, that is closing lower or had the opportunity to go lower than my first entry. And I don't want to be degenerate. I don't want to say, oh, it's just stupid. You just got to hold your short position no matter what. These things are terrible stocks and they're going to die anyway. But there's truth to that. And then there's also the truth in the matter that, okay, if that's the pattern that's playing out, then I got to be smarter than the emotion. And I got to follow not logic at some point to say, oh, these are terrible companies, just short them anyway. But even though they're getting pumped and I'm trying to play the pattern, and whether or not somebody else is profiting off of screwing up other people like me who are trying to play the same pattern, it just comes out again and again that I either have to be more patient, I think if that's the right word, or just play this smarter of, there's way more room on the downside in the afternoon than trying to play these for a quick dump right away in the morning. If that quick dump doesn't happen right away in the morning like it did on this ticker Wednesday, then look at the downside opportunity if you're getting short anywhere in the morning section. I think that's what I'm looking for. Because I'm going to have to be playing a long fade anyway if I think I'm going to hold this type of trade for longer and hold into this afternoon lows area. But I don't know, just convoluted mind. I'm definitely going to spend some time this weekend going over all of my trades for this monthly review, all of my short trades, and think, okay, how many actually closed parabolic or like hugely green? And what can I'm going to be evaluating to say, can I just come at these, take them short at any point, and then just wait for the eventual dump? Because every single person and their grandma knows it's going to happen. This is a terrible Chinese company. I mean, even looking at the daily, it's just ludicrous. What is this chart? They're meant to just pump and dump. So, of course, it's easy to say this now, too, that, oh, you just got to hold your short position now that we're not in this crazy hot 2020 market. And I can throw out ideas where I sit now of, oh, all I have to do is just set like a crazy risk level, like $6 of where I think this thing, if this thing truly goes there, then it's definitely going to squeeze harder. because if it doesn't go there, then it's just going to continue to fade anyway. And we don't have the crazy degenerate market to try and push these things overly parabolic that would get a short into super trouble, which is dicey to say, but it's also really the truth at this point too. And it just frustrates me to see, as a long, I can totally see the opportunity on this one as the levels are being held with the low flow, the combination of the sketchiness and the shorts like me jumping in this one. If I'm a long and I'm looking at any of these areas, I see this technical consolidation, awesome. Play that gap up. If I see this choppiness or these levels being held here, little indecisive VWAP, I can still see that position side as a long. But as a short, I don't know. I'm still building that experience, and I still think there's plenty more room for opportunity, especially in this chart, has proven today, that maybe I need to shift if the pattern doesn't happen immediately from this point. Like this is a perfect chart. That's exactly what I'm looking for. 100% that I'm going to take 10% if I'm taking like a 3A or 4-2 position, from a VWAP crack. I'm taking off half at 10%, which is at 3/8, and then I'm just holding the rest. And if I see we're kind of holding some of these levels, I may take off a little bit more around market open. And then I may just swing the rest into the next day or swing it well into the afternoon. But if it doesn't do that and holds a chart similar like this today, even though this was an entirely different dollar volume, size of trades pattern today with the percentage move up on today's, even if it's holding well, if there's any point where it's not just immediately doing what I want to see, cover at just beyond my entry level, and then move on to save the mental capital, and then come back to that chart, at the 10 a.m. time frame. See, are we spiking like we did here on this day? If on Wednesday it had shopped around, done the same kind of price action that it did this morning, which I feel like I've seen a lot too. What's the one that comes to mind? WISA, I think, did the similar thing. If it wants to do this and then maybe play some games, jump around in the first 15-30 minutes, and then put in some highs, getting short any of these highs and playing this afternoon fade is, I think, a totally profitable opportunity on that one too. Just because of the market that we're in right now. This certainly doesn't apply long term, or I also don't have hard data on that either. It's just, I feel like I've got to start taking hints at some point of stop getting screwed out on this, and it's not going to be a perfect setup every single time. And to cover all of this once again, I shouldn't have even been in this in the first place, because I was violating my rules that I knew there wasn't going to be substance to this trade. The parameters I set on it were not going to be a profitable opportunity. I was just a little bit bored, thought it was a higher probability opportunity that it would happen, and just kind of went in it, which is not who I want to be, and I shouldn't be doing that. Even if I do end up missing some free money in the process of doing that, I'd rather stay on the sidelines than have to be stuck in these stupid shoppiness and getting stopped out twice and not being able to trade the rest of the day because of that. So I think that's all I had on TAOP. And then the only one I saw today was BTBT. Oh my gosh. BTBT was looking awesome. Trading around some of these levels. And now it's just completely dumped off. That's quite insane. So wasn't going to say I'll keep it on watch for the next few days, but now it might just be coming off the watch list. Bitcoin was hovering around the 40K mark a little bit, which I think was reason for some of this run up, but wow, interesting to see on that. So that's all I had today. Tough day today, bad taste in the mouth to end the month, but I'm certainly not discouraged, and I still ending the month profitable, still ending the week profitable, which was kind of baffling to me as well too. But just excited to keep going. I'm excited to keep learning more. That's just how I have to view all of this, is the failures are one step closer to a bigger win and a bigger learning opportunity at each point. So Thank you guys for watching. I will try to make a monthly review, a broader term view of the trading style and the month in perspective tomorrow or over this weekend. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later.